Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Game Developer Podcast. I'm your host, Senior Editor, Brian Francis. Today, we have our final interview recorded on the floor of the 2026 GDC Festival of Gaming with a little visit from the world of Marvel Comics. That's right, we're talking about Marvel Rivals. NetEase's Marvel Rivals was an amazing success story when it launched in 2024, standing out and building a loyal audience even as other major live service games were struggling to get off the ground. But we don't just judge live service games by their launches, do they? We judge them by their, for lack of a better word, live service. Longevity? I don't know. And by that metric, Marvel Rivals is still a success story, rolling out regular updates and retaining a fiercely loyal audience long after its debut. At GDC, we spoke with Marvel Rivals Publishing and Marketing Lead Yachen Bian and Marvel Games executive producer Danny Koo not only about their work on this stellar online action game, but also about their own very different careers and how they became part of the team bringing Earth's mightiest heroes, and Jeff the Shark, who I understand some of you hate a little bit. How can you hate him? He's lovely, he's Jeff the Shark. To players across the globe. All right, Danny and Yachen, thank you so much for joining us on the Game Developer Podcast. How is your show going? I know I already asked you before we started recording, but, why not ask again for the folks outside and the folks at home? How's it going?
Very good. And I think Marvel Rivals also finished 2 sessions at GDC.
Yeah, and then we also won an award on the from Gang last night.
Yeah, that's congrats. Of course, the incredible online games need incredible audio to make players really gravitate to understand what's going on, and of course to capture that Marvel essence. That thwip from Spider-Man, that Hulk roar. It's got to be done right. I would like to know first things first. Let's just, for knowing each about a little bit of you, to work on a game like Marvel Rivals, you and your team have had to come through so much to get to this point, right? Not just working on this game, but in your lives, your careers. Let's go back. I'm taking inspiration from Austin Wintory a little bit with his concert. This is a year of firsts for GDC with this whole Festival of Gaming thing. What were your first moments in games, your first jobs? What for each of you was your first step into the world of making video games?
Oh, maybe I come first. Yeah. Actually, my first job is the NetEase. After I graduated, I joined the NetEase to do the, global publishing. That is exactly what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And I think I was going through all those process for already, almost over 10 years. Yeah. And I do think the company actually, gave me a lot of opportunities and experience. That also helped me a lot with Marvel Rivals publishing. Yes.
Absolutely. And Danny?
It's been 84 years. I'm just kidding. No, I started as a QA tester. I'm over 22 years old. I started at Vivendi Universal. Doing QA. And then I start mastering discs for Counter-Strike, Half-Life 2, you name it. World of Warcraft, all the old jams. And I work myself into technology side programmer. And I do a lot of programming, and I joined Disney back in 2008, working on Kingdom Hearts franchise. And then I joined Marvel in 2015 to do all the slate of Marvel games.
Bringing Marvel Rivals to life, there's a lot of different elements to it. There is not just a business element in the sense of, working with Marvel, with NetEase working with Marvel. There is something that has fascinated me about your guys' journey is the NetEase team is quite large, and it's in more than one studio, right? There's sort of multiple teams working on Marvel Rivals as opposed to your classic, everyone's in one house. Is that correct? Do I have that right?
Yeah.
It is everyone in one house. One building.
In one building. Yeah. But we do have a lot of, it's support team who work for Marvel Rivals. Incredible.
Okay. Yeah. The as an executive producer, when you have that core team in that one building, and I ask this because, like, I'm interested in, as we are a more global world, a more global game development, as game development teams are made, even games that are, quote, by one studio are made, maybe the work is being done by multiple companies. What have you found is sort of an effective way to help when you're working with those other partners, those other support studios? What do you think has been sort of the best way to help make sure they are, in guidance and working effectively with what the core team's vision for Marvel Rivals is?
So we do have a core team of leadership among ourselves.
Yeah.
And we work with each other so many years now, and we trust each other to handle each various discipline.
Yeah.
And we'll come together, especially if there are issues that need to be resolved or there are planning that needs to be done 1 year from now.
Yeah.
And we'll just gather together and we actually trust each other. At Marvel Games, just think of us like a creative extension of the NetEase team, even though they're based in Guangzhou, China. And we are based primarily in the United States. We do meet in the middle point. So we have like night meetings at 9 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah.
And
12 o'clock in China.
Yes. And then
at lunchtime.
And then Sam is like, sometimes most of the time he's in London.
Yes.
So we cross every single time zone just to making sure that we touch base consistently to ensure that we continue to deliver great content for the players. Yeah.
Speaking of delivering great content, I've heard many times that, especially on a live service game, launch day isn't the end of the race, it's the start. Purely from an emotional perspective for both of you, does that match your experience? I guess, like, how have you, as this journey's gone onward, how have you sort of been like, oh man, like, it was really tough getting for launch, but like now with these updates, like there's, an endurance, right? Like, I guess, what has kept you like grounded personally as you've had to like, make these very big things happen for you and your team?
What do you say?
Well, relief at launch, because like, as you know, live service games, especially server-based games, you don't want the server to crash because of too many people coming in at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was nervous for the first few hours because like, please do not crash.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was sent text to the dev team. It was like, is it crash yet? Is it crash yet? But thank God it did not. And it was amazing launch. And we continue to see traffic coming in. And because we are well prepared for the launch, and it allows us to focus on the next wave, which is the live service portion of it, and then we continue to work on that.
Yeah, I think the dev team really, we're prepared for everything, including all the contents and the server technical. And for the launch, I think we also move very quick. If you find some problem, we just solve it in short time. So that's kind of like fundamental for us to do the. I can't say that, great launch, right?
Great launch.
Yes.
Yeah. It was a great launch. Hey, to quote, I was talking to a fellow from a company called Wolfjaw Studios. He's like, the best launches are the ones you don't really like, that the player doesn't think too hard about, right? Like the behind the scenes, everyone's sweating, but up front, they're just having a good time. Yachen, not only do you have an international team, you have an international audience, and Marvel is obviously beloved all over the world. And every region, my understanding is that when you have a franchise like this, like every region actually becomes attached to the franchise in a different way, even if, they fall in love with the same characters. Maybe there's like specific characters that are more popular in one area than other, but like people aren't a monolith, so they love things in a different way. How would you say when you're marketing Marvel Rivals, as you're building a global plan, like how do you think you sort of tailor what works by region, I guess? Like how are you sort of navigating that challenge?
Understood. So I think, as you said, we have really international team, and we also have support from Marvel, who has, the best understanding of the IP and its audience, obviously. So I think every beginning for the launch, we have very I think clear objective for the global population that we want to be global, and we want to maximize the influence of the Marvel IP and to show the high quality of the product itself. So I think there's definitely like different regional differences because you may encounter the problem of the localization.
Yeah.
And you need to communicate with an audience who speaks different languages. They have different culture. So we actually have, I think, over 16 languages in the game to serve the global, audience.
Yeah.
And to do the publishing, we have a group, a very big group of the content creators from different regions, and we can see the creators from Latin America, from Europe, from of course here the United States. So those kind of creators community helped us a lot to spread the most fascinating part of the game, and to let more and more people know what is the amazing point and the new updates and all the new contents of the game. So I think that's a kind of like most important part of the marketing. And also we built the Discord community at very beginning. So we actually I think we grew with our audience together. From every test to the launch and to live ops until now. So we already have over 4.2, approximately 4.3.
Yeah, we are 4.3 million
on Discord.
The largest gaming Discord on Earth.
That's so cool,
Yes. And so, those huge community, they're also from different regions. They're all over the world. And we have, a dedicated team to serve those audience, and we also have the group of the moderators who actually do all the works and pack different content on Discord in their own way. So that is the thing that I think we make the players really join the community and donate themselves and set up very deep connection with each other. So they're playing the role not only like playing the game, they're also the participate of our part.
Danny, this is sort of one of those, whenever we come into the game industry, we come in with our interests, our passions, and we pick up things. And then I feel like almost inevitably we must learn other disciplines or become closer to the disciplines over time. As someone who is of the who has the experience you do, going back to Vivendi, a name truly I had not heard in some time. What's it been like to actually have to sit down and talk with Yachen and okay, I don't have to solve the marketing problem, but I do have to help think about it and help them understand it in some way from your perspective. What's it been like to go from that one technical set of skills to broaden your horizons like that?
So there is one time, but because I'm very nosy, and I love gathering information, and I have all the information that everybody else has, but in collective all together. That's one time in a meeting at Disney, and I was the technical director. The producer was not at the table. And someone was asking for the status of the project. I just say, I know the status of the project. So I gave the whole rundown. They're like, you might as well be a producer also. I'm like, actually, that's a good idea. Why not? So I switched from technical to producer and start producing. And throughout being a producer or even technical manager, you talk to different departments. You talk to the marketing, the PR. So all this discipline over the years that I armed myself with have enabled me to be fluid and know what everyone else is doing, and then provide support in terms of strategy and recommend methods or ways to do the same stuff in other ways that other people have been doing. And at Marvel Games, we work with so many developers and publishers as well, and we have also learnings that we can share with all our partners. You might not want to do this because we have a case study on XYZ, or we have market data from our other business units, what might be popular, what's not popular, and that help inform us to even talking to the Marvel Rivals team on how to best position certain content.
So that's kind of it obviously goes two ways, but if someone out there is trying to consider what project they should be making, would they be pitching to? In the case of Marvel Games and Disney, what you guys get to say is, hey, if you have a great pitch and you're working with us, what you benefit from is also, like we work with Marvel Rivals, and the Marvel Rivals team has, we can bring experiences from our lessons with them to work with you in that relationship. And that's as opposed to just like a straight, and we're in pure hypotheticals here, but like, as opposed to just sort of saying, oh, you have the license and that's it, good luck. It's no, you have the license, you have the relationship with us, we have the knowledge from our other partners. Like that's what people get out of it, right?
Yeah, more than that, we are very involved. We work every day with each partner from a creative point of view, from an art point of view, narrative point of view. It's almost like core development, but we don't actually develop. Like we actually help out to fill up the gap and feedback. But at the end of the day, we love the collaboration. As evidently, the latest. Collaboration between Marvel Cosmic Invasion and Marvel Rivals. Like it transcends just one developer. Like we match with our partners with each other and collab.
And that's great for the players because one, developers, look, everyone loves it when another game boosts their game. That's great. But then on the player side, right, like these player communities feel a little bit more like close brought together as opposed to just sort of like, well, you're just of this player, you're just of that player. So like, man, you guys really just have like such a cool set of tools to work with, for whatever it is. I was thinking about the world of live service games. One, I've been so impressed with your guys' success because I believe you said an interview somewhere else this week. Unfortunately, I can't remember with who, but whichever outlet it was, I credit you non-verbally. You were saying in another interview, this live service market is risky, and you guys were coming in with what I believe I would refer to as a hero shooter model with in-app spending and skins and these other things that have been very common in the market. One, players love these games. Two, what I have seen and felt myself as a player is sometimes, these games, when we talk about it being so tough out there, one of the reasons that it's tough is that players sometimes feel overwhelmed or not fully engaged by, what a game is asking out of them. What do you think Marvel Rivals does right when it comes to asking players to, or whether it's those daily challenges, like how are you guys like trying to say to players, hey, your time with the game is valuable, we're not going to try and suck every dollar or minute out of you guys? That's a bit of a blunt way to put it, if you'll pardon my bluntness, but no, what do you think you guys do for like philosophically to like try and make sure every minute feels like worthwhile in the game?
So it is both in and out of game as a whole. So in game, we call it like time to KO. Like the time to action is very fast. So we don't want to let players sit and find a match for a longest time and do nothing. And at the same time, we have a Discord integration where solo player can also partner up with groups from 4.3 million players. Like they could be your friends to join a group at any time. Because of that, we get player in very fast, and we have no barrier of the heroes that you play because all the heroes are free to play. And if you like the hero, maybe you might purchase costume. But all this stuff, we also match it with time. If you spend time on it, we'll reward you with currency that you can purchase costume. So we really try to say, hey, you can play fast, and if you play long enough, we respect your time. Here's the reward for your time. And then outside of it, we have content creators that engage with each of their community with their own version of tournaments and keep them engaged in that front. There are content creators that talk about the lore of the stories from season to season, and that keep them engaged. So in every front, it is sticky. It all boils down to every single playable hero is aspirational. It's authentic, it's true to the power, and it's fresh. Even if we take an unknown character from the Marvel, like Jeff the Landshark, like from the beginning, now he is like.
You guys did a lot for Jeff, I gotta say. Like I only knew Jeff I happened to read a couple of those comics with Jeff, and I'm like, I love this little guy. And then all of a sudden, everyone I know is posting about Jeff, and I'm like, wait a minute, how do you know about him? I know you don't read the comics. Non-derogatory. I think people should be able to know about Jeff, but I'm like, what's going on? And then I see it's Marvel Rivals, is bringing that little guy out and making him a monster.
Yes, the NetEase team has done a phenomenal job, like representing Jeff. In fact, they would have to build a quad pad model just for Jeff, because everybody's on two legs.
Yeah, everyone else is biped. Yeah, and this is a very unique thing.
And he has to swim 90 degrees and traverse the wall as well. So that's another challenge.
Yeah. The tech problems that you guys are solving, and some of which you guys have been presenting out at GDC about, like, it's just cool. Like, like games are hard, and the magic of like the amount of work it takes to get this thing that seems the simplest or whatever is always impressive. From looking at things through Marvel Games aside, something that has impressed me about Marvel Rivals is this is a licensed multiplayer game where I feel like, and I've played a few licensed Marvel games over the years. Shout out to Marvel Avengers Academy on the iOS and Android a while back.
Oh yeah,
I love that game. You guys have helped the NetEase team go very far with the art direction, actually. Like, whenever I look over at the costumes, not only, there's some of the like stuff that's like, oh wow, that's that character, but just like they look amazing, but like, oh, I've never seen that character in that kind of outfit before. And it seems like the flexibility that NetEase has to stretch in that direction is really more than I see like a lot of licenses, for often good reason, not to diminish, the restrictions that are sometimes necessary, but like, what has it been like to try and let them flesh that out, even though they are, a partner of Marvel as opposed to Marvel itself? Like, what's it been like to try and like expand the look of these Marvel characters like that? What's made that possible?
So we will always present an NetEase Games team with the knowledge of costumes that's available currently from the comics or from the movies. And then there are times where we would need to invent new stuff based on thematic occasion, like, summer swimsuit. That's only two issue in the past. Yeah. One in the 90s and one from last year. Mm-hmm. So they're like, hey, go crazy on what would a summer swimsuit series for all characters, superhero with like athletic bodies, and stuff. We should do one for Jeff, by the way.
Yeah,
just reminded. Anyway, so or the dark fairy tales, which is not the usual theme in the Marvel comic world, but we want to dive into this dark fairy tales. I'm like, okay, now we have character. What kind of fairy tales we want to be inspired by? Yeah. And we get several iterations here. Our art director, Dan LaDuca, is like, let's continue pushing this and pushing this and pushing this. And as a result, you can see all this fantastic look.
Yeah, add to that topic, I would say that the art team really did a good job. Yes. I mean, like, they actually discovered their Marvel Rivals' own art style that is kind of like fundamental, and it works very well. So for every season, we have different, our own law with a narrative, different thing. And I think the team will also, from NetEase side, will also give some new ideas from our perspective. So it will be like a proposal, and based on the proposal, we have a lot of discussion together. I mean, like, because I do feel it is like combination with our both side. We have the original, Marvel comic things, or any other things from the Marvel universe, but we do have someone, come up with the new ideas that out of the experience from the previous NetEase game, so it's like a combination, and we discuss to the best solution for all of those art design. Yeah.
For each of you, can you name one of these skins? And I know these skins, like, and one of the reasons I'm drilling in on these skins is these skins are a big deal. They're what my friends talk about. Like, all of a sudden on my Discord server, all of a sudden it'll light up with, oh my God, these new skins just dropped. What's one of these skins that you would say is like not something that was super existing in Marvel, the Marvel library already, that's now in, but that is sort of formed from this partnership? Like, what are for each of you, or one of the ones you like the most, I guess?
Yeah, I think Danny mentioned that the Dark Fairy Tale, right? That collection is actually proposed by us. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like for me, I do feel, the summer, suit collection should be very good. But that is actually originally from the comic.
Of course,
the old times.
But there's a lot of there's new character. The obviously there was the one last year, but the amazing classic swimsuit thing, that was only a few characters. There's a lot more Marvel characters since then and in Marvel Rivals. So you guys had to, do a lot of fleshing out there.
We have a lot of work to do on that front.
Yeah,
we're going to catch up on that front.
Yeah.
But we will have exciting stuff on that front. As for me, of course, Luna Snow, as a co-creator of Luna Snow, I'm very involved in every iteration of her design. It is original, every single one, because it does not exist in the comics. So that was exciting. Every time we have a major checkpoint of a costume, we also write the song for her. And then now I think we have like 100,000 monthly listeners on Spotify just for Luna. Right? So
that is all super interesting. Every game designer, I mean, we're always told, hey, like, always pay attention, always look for inspiration. Inspiration isn't just about aesthetics, it's not just about audio, it's not just about narrative, it's often just about like, I'm thinking back to my days as a community manager on a live service game where I was literally like keeping an eye out there for like what do players want, what are they getting from other games, other events, kind of thing. On the I guess on the live services side is where I will narrow my question down to. How, when you are thinking of whether it's new features, new challenges, new events for the season, where do you guys kind of look to for inspiration on that, right? Like, how do you guys figure out whether it's looking at what another game is doing or looking at like something in the real world, like what a real world like festival is doing? If you're, I guess like, what have you guys seen on that front that's inspiring you out there in the world for like making this thing feel fresh and, alive?
We work closely with the narrative team and the creative team to see, first and foremost, what the lore is. And that will kind of, inspire what the better parts of each season should include. And then there will be like mini stuff that are fun and unique. It's like, hey, orange soda can Venom could be funny. It's like, oh, all right, let's do it, right? So like, or someone could be a horror storybook lover who like to read those kind of stuff and say, hey, can we do some horror stuff? Like, what do you mean? Like the gory one cube? Like what it is? It's like, oh no, like the classic, Frankenstein. Like, you mean like a dark fairy tale? And that's how a dark fairy tale came too. And then summer, of course, it's like, hey, it's summer, everybody
that is vacation season now.
Outside of battle, like superhero need to have a vacation. Like what would they wear? And then we have a Van Dyne shop, Janet Van Dyne shop, fashion shop inside Times Square. And she designed a lot of like high fashion casual clothes. It's like, okay, what would she design for each of these superheroes? Like
of course. And obviously in universe there's things like the Hellfire Gala, like the figuring out what these characters would look like in not just different battle costumes but different like living costumes is such a existing tradition, right?
And then Halloween comes around, it's like like if Jeff were to go trick-or-treating, what would he wear?
When you and your collaborators are thinking about the kind of environment that you want Marvel Rivals existing in, something I've been observing is when it comes to online games, and what I love is that you guys actually buck the trend of like my general theory of launching new online games right now, which is to my observation, players are really enjoying social experiences that they don't have to essentially sweat through. I was really fascinated when I was playing Apex Legends, seeing people get so mad about skill-based matchmaking, about matchmaking algorithms, that we're trying to keep things fair, because they were like, every match I go into, it feels like I have to always try hard, as opposed to like just wanting to roll in and just kind of blast things and shoot around. But like the tension was so high, and even though it was fair, or it seemed to be frustrating people, I really feel like we're in a moment where players want to relax while playing, and you guys are in a genre that's known for competitiveness, for winners and losers, for someone's got to play better, you always got to be improving. But you guys, how are you guys sort of reacting to that I guess, how are you guys reacting to that? Like, how are you guys like preserving the social instinct, the desire to relax, to play, as opposed to just the desire to be the best, I guess, like when you're thinking about running Marvel Rivals?
Yeah, there are several different group of players.
Yeah.
Like, that's a sweaty player, which is like no matter what, they're playing ranked match and they will get into argument when things don't go in their way.
Yeah.
And or they will harass other people because they are too good. That's that crowd.
Harass as in target, like dunk on one player in the game, or harass as in
it can be any
talk?
form, like trash talking. It can, over voice or over text, or go on social media posting. It's like, look at this guy.
Yeah.
Right? And there's another group that's like, they work hard during their work hours and come back. At the end of the day, they just want to have fun and chill, or they went to school and come back and they just want to have fun. So we do instinctively divide this group, not in terms of a hard line, but more like that you can float between quick play and rank
mode.
Rank matches. And then on top of that, we have several arcade modes where players can dive to and just have silly fun.
Yeah.
And then if you just don't want to play and just want to make content, you can go to the Times Square, do silly stuff, or bring someone to join a fight club 1v1 and broadcast it on Times Square. So a lot of this community-based stuff that comes together and have fun.
Yeah.
Definitely lower the stress overall. I'm not saying there's no toxicity, but the dev team did do a good job of constantly updating chat and making sure the harassment, keep it at a minimum.
Yeah.
And you get to report anyone that feel targeted, that there's a human reviewer to review the case and take action accordingly. Now, this is in game. So outside of it as well, we have a great team of moderators in different languages who speak different languages that help in making sure that they maintain a safe environment for all kind of players to have a civil conversation on Discord.
Was there anything you wanted to say more about the supporting players who just want to relax, I suppose?
Sure. Yeah, because I think Marvel Rivals, user base is huge. So it is kind of like, I think it's normal that there are a lot of different players' needs. I would like to say I don't think it's like a very clear boundary between different group of players because the game is so integrated and we have a lot of contents inside the game. But I do feel like the whole team, the dev team, really, we want to provide like more contents. We actually have the Times Square for those casual players who can. Yeah, now we have the basketball, and also echo to your question, like to come up with some like ideas that will be fun for the game. So I think we want to make this game like everyone can enjoy your moment. Yeah, kind of the joy. And if you want, you have, designed to create something, and you can be content creator. Mm-hmm. If you're like the game expert, you can join the Pathfinder program on Discord, which, you could be the mentor for other players to tell the news and somehow teach them how to play the game. Yeah. So we just open those kind of possibilities because I think the game is so, like amazing, and we actually attract a lot of players. So for us, it's very important to, I don't think we can cover like all the things together, but we do as much as possible to, make the player enjoy the game. Yeah.
Times Square, that's like, let's talk about that feature for a moment, because I think that speaks to what I've seen out there in the world, which is this, sometimes players just want to, like, instead of like playing the actual game, they want to hop around, in the avatar, like as the character they enjoy, but they don't want to do anything. They just want to kind of vibe around in the lobby, which, in one way, look, like look, this is a little old, right? Like lobbies back in the day, for those games, like for me, it was Team Fortress 2, like literally just kind of messing around instead of like doing hardcore capture the flag. The point was just a vibe instead of win. But where did the, like, how new is the idea for Times Square, I guess? Because like there was definitely like modes like that in games, those like more, not even just casual play, but casual hangout. This is both old, with your casual lobbies from online games from years ago, and it's new because other really cool games have been experimenting with these too. I guess, like, where did that idea come from, and when did that come up in development, I guess?
I think when we were planning what's going to happen for the game anniversary, and we have an idea about how do we get everyone come together.
Yeah.
And the dev team came with several proposals, and one of them is Times Square. Like, Times Square, it actually fit thematically in the Marvel universe, which is great. And then when you go to Times Square, it's like in the real world, there's a lot of billboards and stores. I'm like, what if we just Marvelize this whole thing, make it the go-to location inside Marvel Rivals, the safe location in between the chronoverses.
Yeah.
And we did it. And it was originally to celebrate with the players, and it got bigger and bigger, and we got feedback. It's like, hey, we want to read comics there. We want to watch TV shows there. And ever since, like, we deploy basketball mini games, dance club underground.
Add to that, actually, we had this idea very, very early. I think I can't remember. We just kept that in the internal discussion. I think it was a time like not very long after launch where we have those kind of idea, but maybe not so mature like the Times Square. We discussed a lot, the whole team, and also including some very senior designer, because the initial idea is that we want to create some place that like what you said, players just gather together and they can have social connection. And then comes to the anniversary discussion. So at that time, I can remember, from the publishing perspective, we raised the idea of the broadcasting. We want the billboard, like television in the game, that we could, provide the play, just have like a Marvel cinema in the game. That would be cool. Yeah. So with all of those, gathering together and have some places for players to consume more Marvel content, and also beneficial for the, content creator, marketing things, publishing things. Then we come to the idea to the Times Square.
Yeah. And then from our side, we also noticed that a lot of players not on social per se, like they're not on those toxic ones.
Yeah.
And how do they get the information that is not just the game, right? Outside, what happened outside in the real world, in terms of Marvel Rival merchandising, or there's a music going on. Excuse me. This help inform them. It's like, hey, once you're not playing the game, there are other stuff that you can participate in the Marvel Rivals universe, including, go buy a T-shirt.
Yeah.
There's a great Funko Pop coming. This help immerse the players both in and out of the.
Yeah, it's funny. Times Square feels like, I love what you said about it. Like, it was for a celebration, but then it became a social space. I almost wonder if, like, to think of multiplayer today, with how much, okay, I'm going to say the word easier. Nothing is easy in game dev. And everything that was hard 10 years ago is sort of only kind of easier now. But, like, back in the day, like, the idea that, you would take your combat game and build a non-combat space for it, I think people on both the business and creative side could have said, are you kidding? Like, we need that time and money for other things. But I almost wonder if, like, players are sort of telling us, they want, you both said this a few minutes ago, there are both, right? There's the sweaty, there's the hardcore, there's the content creator, there's I work 9 hours a day. And I wonder if this is just kind of a lesson, that, like, it can be done. Your game can have it all without turning into an MMO, without turning into, a massive platform. But your game can, like, you can find those ways to take the tools you've already made and just dream bigger a little, I guess. Like today we're talking about, hanging out and social stuff, but who knows, tomorrow your players will take Marvel basketball, the basketball mini game, and turn into a whole mode of a whole competition of their own.
I have some comments on that. Actually,
Sure.
I think specifically for Times Square, it is the initial idea is that we do want to create a social place.
Oh, of course. Excuse me. Yeah, didn't mean to.
So the idea behind that, because we're 6 versus 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. competitive game, that means like you always need friends to play with you. That will be fantastic to play with friends, and you have, your own social network. That is the initial idea why we want to create a place like that. And I do think, those kind of place design is somehow combine the experience of the, from the Chinese dev team. Yeah. For I think, in NetEase games, we had a lot of experience to do something like that, but we just want to convert some in a proper way with the Marvel Rivals. Yeah, I do want to, add that information.
Sure. With you've made some announcements. There are some announcements. There are some news for what's coming next for Marvel Rivals.
Next week.
Next week.
Yes.
Oh, we have to wait till next week.
Yes. And Guang was here yesterday. Now he's back to China for that version.
Yeah. He's gonna land in like about 2 hours.
Yes.
And go into the office and record next week's
that version.
Oh, excellent. What for each of you, I guess, what are you excited about for what's on the horizon for the game? And if you have to speak abstractly, if you can only just say, "Oh, we're excited," I don't know. I just like what are you excited about for what's coming down from Marvel Rivals? I guess
we have a whole lot of content in 2026. That's the regular roadmap.
Yeah,
we continue to give new heroes, new maps, bunch of new costumes, new PvE mode. Bunch of special modes that we haven't even talked about, and then on top of that, we have Path to Doomsday that allow players to follow the journey of the Avengers franchise from the Avengers, Avengers Age of Ultron, Infinity War, Endgame, and all the way to Doomsday. So we call it Path to Doomsday, right?
Yeah.
It's been a while since the movie.
Ladies and gentlemen at home, our camera appears to be has disconnected from the phone, and it has interrupted the podcast. How disappointing. I'm so sorry that my machine decided to interrupt you.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So where am I? Yes. So it's been a while since the last movie of Avengers Magnitude came out. So we want to provide a refresher or invite new audience that they never had experienced those key Marvel movies to walk them through the Marvel Rival style. We have our own special way. Like the first one is about one player being Loki versus like 6 other players. So it's a asymmetrical PvP.
We do love asymmetrical multiplayer around here.
Yeah, it's just like 6 cops, 1 robber, right? So that's fun. Yeah,
Loki would go, "How dare you demote me to mere robber?" That's the energy he would bring.
Yeah, it's gonna play very very different. What am I excited about is next week's content is gonna be special. In fact, after the El Capitan fan event last week, the composer Shota, he flew into Tennessee and start recording the music for the season because it requires an awesome group of musicians to pull this off. It has never been done in this genre of music for Marvel Rivals.
Oh, that's exciting.
It's a very special event all itself.
I can see the folks outside like smiling a little. They're getting excited about it too.
Yeah, I mean Taylor Swift has recorded in that studio.
Of course,
give it that magnitude, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
How about you? What's got you excited?
Yeah, I think Danny already covered, a lot of things, the majority of that. But what I want to say is that I expect unexpected, right? Yes. So I think, after over 1 year operation of this game, I do feel like we have a lot of surprising game, no matter we made it or we made it together with the community. Yeah. So I do excited about to discover what kind of things I don't know now. Yeah.
So for the Marvel Rivals who needed more hint about what's gonna come, go check out the Times Square right now.
Yeah. That will be timely for the folks out there, for the Marvel Rival players out in the audience today. Unfortunately, the way of podcast production does mean this will drop after these announcements next week. But that said, I don't know. I just really wanted to capture that vibe of like what you guys, like just feeling that energy coming off you guys. it's always electric, no matter what the information behind it is. Let's close off today with a quick, the role of game development is huge. We're here at GDC, Festival of Gaming, where everyone is trying to figure out like their path forward in development. You've both had the different journeys you've been on. What is just like kind of a thought you would say? It doesn't even need to be like an advice for a first timer per se, but I guess like where would you if someone was sort of like talking about wanting to be in game dev, trying to find their next journey or whatever, like what is something you think you would say to each of them? Just kind of like, oh, like here's what I think is exciting, or what what a new I don't know. I'm asking you to give them advice, and I'm telling you like any advice is good, just where I'm at. You both pointed to each other.
Yeah, I mean,
I go first.
Got a standoff here.
That would be very different from you, I think.
As you heard, a lot of layoff in the game industry.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to tell you is the game industry is resilient.
Yeah.
The medium and technology will keep advancing. The way we connect to players who always want to play games. There's always going to be a market. How we deliver, however we get the game into gamers' hand will be different 5 years to 10 years from now. But it's okay, because as long as we have the passion and we're willing to learn, we can adapt and get where we want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can share something I learned from Marvel Rivals. I mean, like, I do feel just discover what is like true passion of yourself and, keep going. Yeah, don't give up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just focus on your own thing and brought the content you feel good to the audience, and you have your own fans.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely. Danny, Yachen, thank you both so much today. It's been incredible having the Marvel, representatives from Marvel Rivals and here with us in the podcast booth at the GDC Festival of Gaming. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks again to Danny and Yachen for joining us on the GDC show floor. Let me tell you guys, whenever you meet someone who's been around in games as long as Danny has, it feels really special. They've got amazing stories about the old days, and you can feel that experience still coming through in their work when you talk to them about what they're making today. Today's episode was edited by Pierre Landreau, and our theme music is by Mike Nehant. And a reminder, Game Developer and GDC are sibling organizations under Informa Festivals. We love our siblings, brothers, sisters, siblings of inordinate genders. They're great. Thanks for listening. And remember, when you open up Steam, just like Stan Lee said, tell them to make mine Marvel.